Tennessee, an underdog to make the college football playoff. To whom, Caleb?
This is according to our good buddies at BetUS, who we're fans of, but we took a look at their 12-team playoff odds this year. Tennessee is the first of the teams that is an underdog to make the playoffs, meaning it's a plus to bet on them, not a minus. So there are 14 teams that you will have to bet more than $100 to win $100 for them to make the playoffs. And Tennessee is right there at number 15 at plus 225 odds. Not even like plus 110, by the way, Dave. Plus 225, greater than 2-1 odds you're getting on betting on Tennessee to make a 12-team playoff. Guys, jump at this. Jump at this. I'm telling you, jump at it. And don't sue me if you jump at it and you don't make it. But still jump at it. Bet your mortgage.
It certainly doesn't seem like they should be an underdog, but I wonder, Caleb, if you and I are too bullish on Tennessee. We talked to Jimmy Himes yesterday, and he had 9 wins. I seem to think that 9 is the bare minimum. I want to take a look at the other teams that are considered favorites? Is that the term I would use to make the college football playoff? Okay. So let's look at those other teams. Go ahead and give me 2 or 3 teams that are inarguable. They should be above Tennessee when it comes to rankings because of either what they've done, how they've established themselves, whatever. Star power coming back. I want to go through the ones that you would just lop off, that you would say, I got no argument with. Want to do that. Brought to you by Boundless Moving. From the 2-hour minimum to turnkey operations, they have you covered. Call my buddy Matt. Tell him Dave Hooker at Off the Hook Sports sent you. Boundless Moving. Moved me in East Tennessee. They can move you there and in Charlotte as well. So, Caleb?
So, and let's get this clear. There are 12 playoff teams. There are obviously 12 teams that can make the college football playoff, but Vegas has to make money. So there are 14 teams with favorite odds to make the playoff. You know, they're covering their bases a little bit, if that's fair to say. So, number 1 to make the playoff, Georgia, negative 900. That's right, minus 900. You know how insanely high those odds are to make a playoff? That's not to win a game. That's to make the playoff, but they're minus 900. Number 2,
so
Ohio State.
You would bet $100 and win back 10, right?
9, I think. I got to do the math in my head.
Okay, go for it.
It's maybe you're right. Maybe it's I don't know, but yes, you got to bet $100 to win like 10 or 12, something like that. Ohio State's minus 800, and which is still pretty high. Texas is 3rd at minus 500. Oregon is 4th at minus 500. Florida State is 5th at minus 250. By the way, I think that's too low for Florida State because I think they're locked to win the ACC again this year. Could be wrong on that, but I think they might win it again. Clemson is 6th at negative 225. Notre Dame is 7th at minus 250. I don't know why they're below Clemson on this. So Notre Dame is 6th at minus 250. Clemson is 7th at minus 225. Kansas State is 8th at minus 200. Michigan is 9th at minus 140. Ole Miss is 10th at minus 150. And then you have 4 other teams. Miami, Utah, Alabama, and Penn State are all at minus 110. Yeah, that's right. They have Miami above Tennessee.
As the original question was, who would you say I got no problem with?
All right, I got no problem with Georgia. I got no problem with Ohio State. I got no problem with Oregon, Florida State, or Clemson. I got no problem with Texas. I got a problem with everybody else on that list, including Alabama.
Will Tennessee be better than Alabama this season? I think there's a good chance of that, and I think they very well might be. Let's not forget, you have to transition to a whole new offense and a whole new defense for that matter. It's a whole new coaching staff. Most of the time, no matter what your talent level, there's a transition year. So if I were to bet right now, and I'm curious, maybe we can take a look at it, the over-under in games that Tennessee and Alabama will win, I would be curious to know that number as well. I agree with you on most of the schools. I think the one that people want to see this season is Texas, because if they can't make a college football playoff and be excellent with the schedule they have, then that program got lucky last year under Steve Sarkisian. But I do have a problem with, name the schools you have a problem off with in particular.
I have a problem with Kansas State. I have a problem with Michigan. I have a problem with Ole Miss. I have a huge problem with Miami. I have a problem with Utah. I have a problem with Alabama. Scratch it, I may not have a problem with Penn State, because Penn State's going to lose 2 games and win 10, as they do every year, because we know the 2 they're going to lose.
So we're not, just to be clear, we're not talking about who's better. We're talking about understanding making the college football playoff, which is as much political as about what you do on the field.
Yes, exactly. And so I have no problem. I actually don't have a problem with Penn State, because Penn State's going to be their regular 10-2 team where they get blown up by Ohio State and Michigan, and the college football world's going to be like, oh my God, Penn State's 10-2 in the Big Ten. They're a top 10 team, guys. And
the voice is back.
You know,
the voice is back.
That's how people think of Penn State, though, consistently. And by the way, they also win with honor, guys. Remember that with Joe Paterno, they won with honor. They were a very classy program. They never had a scandal.
Never any issues at all. But Tennessee being a long shot to make the playoffs is not incredibly surprising to me. As a matter of fact, I kind of thought they would be a slight long shot based off the people that I've talked to. The thing that I want to see how this plays into it is, if Tennessee's as popular as you and I seem to think they'll be, if they get in a position where they were second, or let's say third in the SEC, have they played well enough to still make the playoffs? That's the question I would have. Whether or not you're able to win the SEC, there's suddenly a bigger prize out there to be had.
I mean, I think that, and I've talked about this for a while, and so I'm not a fan of the playoff, because it's devaluing winning the SEC. I don't think it's a big deal if you don't win the SEC, quite honestly. And I've said this, Dave, 1,000 times over. If you know you're a lock to go to the playoff, I'd rest my starters in the SEC championship game.
Okay, well, that's absurd, but I'm just gonna leave that.
Not my fault. I didn't make the rules. They made the rules. And also, by the way, as Kirby Smart pointed out, he's right on this. If I know I'm a lock to go to the playoff, the final week of the regular season, I might lose that game rather than have to go play Georgia in the SEC title game. Save myself a week. Give myself a week's rest.
Ouch. You're not going to rest people for a championship game. That's the most absurd thing.
A championship game. I want the playoff.
Let me ask you this.
It's the SEC basketball tournament.
Hold on. If you rested your players for the SEC championship game, you send the wrong message from a competitive standpoint. You're not going to have success in the college football playoff. You're taking a preseason game and putting it in the middle of the season.
Oh, you're making me laugh. You're sending the wrong message. Oh, poor message. You're right. Did Rick Barnes send the wrong message when he tanked the SEC tournament this year?
That's different.
Did that whole Tennessee backfield go?
Wait, it's one game versus 3. It's one game versus 3.
It's a football game is worth 3 basketball games in terms of the wear and tear on your body and the rest you need relative to it. Okay, so I'm sorry. The wrong message. Spare me. The SEC championship game.
You can't discount that, Caleb, because you're putting a preseason game in the middle of the season if you do that. And you can't tell me that you're automatically going to get all those players full focus back after that. It's not going to happen. If they had some sort of exhibition game in the NFL, they'd laugh it off. The starters wouldn't play, and some would want to play, and it would just be absurd. I mean, there's no way that you could rest your starters in the SEC championship game. You may think that that's the case, and we may disagree vehemently on that, but you don't think that would actually be the case, do you? You don't think Kirby Smart's going to say, hey, I'm going to sit my cats so I can hopefully make the college football playoff championship game?
Well, no, I think some people are going to do that. I absolutely think some people are going to do that. I don't know who, I don't know when, I don't know how, I don't know where. I don't even know if it'll be the SEC championship game first. Maybe the Big 12, maybe the Big 10, maybe the ACC. Somebody
Ted's
is
right.
going
You're
to.
out of your mind. Ted's right. You're out of your mind.
Guys, y'all don't realize they have turned the conference championship games into the conference basketball tournaments. Both teams playing for the SEC championship are locks for the college football playoff. Thorough locks. They're going to rest the starters. And also, by the way, if you rest your starters, I know you're going to say the first round bye, but if you don't get the first round bye, you get the home playoff game. You get extra revenue for your own home stadium for a week. So there's that.
Okay. I think most people agree with me. Travis calls it laughable. Caleb, you're out of your mind by Ted. Elias said, imagine Al Wilson staring bullets if you ask him to sit out an SEC title game. That it just would be the most abhorrent thing you could possibly do, is sit players down in the SEC championship game and then see them go lose if they did in the first round of the playoffs, because then you had an opportunity to have a ring. And you don't think it means much, but I do. I think the SEC and a championship still means a lot, a lot. Well, I could ask Cooper Mays at lunch today if he believes that
no player
still means a lot.
I got a lot of respect for Cooper. No player is going to say, well, I'm just not going to play hard in this game today. Okay. You like, even like in the NBA, have you ever heard LeBron be like, well, this regular season game's not important? No, but but a lot of times they don't take the regular season seriously. So y'all are putting value on, y'all are acting like it's 1990. It's not. The college football world has been sucked up too much where everything is playoff centric now. I didn't do it. The SEC championship now has no more weight than winning the NFC East.
That is so incredibly untrue. It is insulting. It is insulting.
It's factual
to every college coach and every college football player who goes out there on that field each and every day to make for the best product you can watch in the fall. You have insulted each and every one of them.
I'm sorry.
Can I tell you, in all reality, though, can I tell you how being around them, the coaches and players I've been around would never even consider doing what you're doing. Now, maybe a Steve Sarkisian or somebody else would. Lincoln Riley, I don't know. But the crews that I've been around would never consider that. And I can tell you in particular, that wouldn't be the case with Josh Heupel. And we don't know that Rick Barnes threw the tournament. He hasn't admitted.
Yes, he did. He factually threw the tournament.
Probably.
And by the way, Bobby Knight would openly throw the Big Ten tournament, and he got 5 national championships. But, he didn't win the Big Ten tournament title, so it's tainted because he didn't win the tournament title, so the national championship ring doesn't mean much.